Happy New Year and welcome to another channel update here on the channel. So I want to keep this a bit more regular, at least every month, giving sort of a short update on what's going on, what are we engaging with, what's happening, what's changing, what's not changing, and what's upcoming. So let's take this opportunity to take stock of the situation. A year has passed. 2019 was an amazing year for me, mainly on Twitch, but also a bit on YouTube, but mainly on Twitch. And it's been almost a year since I went full-time as content creator, and that has been one hell of a journey. It's had its ups and downs, but luckily more ups than downs, way more ups and downs. So I have not regretted it a second. It's extremely fun doing something that you like, and for that I can only thank you guys for helping support by watching, liking, subscribing, pledging, donating, commenting, engaging in all sorts of ways, and that means the world to me. So thank you very much for all of the support during the year that has passed. And I can only hope that things are going to progress and lots of new things are going to happen, and we can continue the growth that is started in 19 over here in 20 as well. So what am I going to talk about? Well, I have these three categories: always content creation in general, this is what I'm talking about now, then Factorio, and then other content on the channel. Regarding sort of the content on the channel in general, then as you can probably see, I am focusing more on Twitch than I am on YouTube. I find YouTube to be it's not as engaging, and I really want to focus on the engaging part. Reading comments and replying to comments doesn't make me feel that I have a dialogue. It means that it basically sending letters back and forth, and I love the part where with the engagement during live streams, and I know that live streams are whenever they are, so they may not fit for everyone, or maybe not the long format of the live streams may not fit for everyone. I completely acknowledge that. That means YouTube is going to continue, but I'm going to spend more time on Twitch, as you can already see. So no change there, just a reaffirmation of what's going on. I will do some kind of, or I want to focus on games on Twitch that I can also cut into segments and move to YouTube. So there are some that don't really work. Factorio is one of those. It's very long format. A series is 200 hours. Cutting that into pieces and dumping it on YouTube is, I know a lot of people have been asking for it, but there is just not a demand for it when it all comes down. And the few people who are demanding it are more vocal, but looking at the numbers, there is no demand. I tried it for my space exploration, and I don't intend to do it again. I will do some kind of recap episodes, but I also want to focus also on other games where I think this makes a lot of sense. For example, I played Star Wars. That was a perfect example. More story-driven games. And then again, on the other hand, games like Witcher is so huge that doesn't really make sense to move to YouTube at that magnitude. I've chosen not to. So that's just a general comment. I'm going to continue streaming. I'm going to pick games that I think will be great to stream, and then also can use on YouTube as well. So I'll probably not be recording very much things generally for YouTube, specifically like Let's Plays and Let's Tries, but who knows? Lots of things can change. Also, new concepts of the year. I want to do a Let's Try Wednesday, where I every Wednesday try some new game, so that I get to see new games. And I'm going to be better at making sure that I'm not hungover and tired, so that affects my performance and mood of that, and maybe do some bit more scouting ahead, so that I can try some games. Some will be awful, but they probably won't be awful, but I don't like them, and some will be fantastic for me. And that's going to be sort of the interesting challenge. I want to be exposed to new games, primarily new games. So please help me help you by keeping an eye on new games in various categories that you think would be interesting for me to play. And please don't select old games, because I'm unlikely to go back to those. If I do, then it'll be for other reasons. And also, please don't select games that you think I'll hate, because why? So select games you think I'll enjoy. Great story, great setting. Those are the main topics. Easy to learn, hard to master, also another priority for me. So That's my call to action. Please let me know in the comment section below what kind of games, new games, upcoming games, preferably not just new games, but things that are in the next couple of months would be awesome to get a heads up on, so I can maybe even reach out to developers and publishers and ask for an advance copy. That would be nice. Now, onwards to the main attraction, Factorio. Things are happening. Right, we have completed a massive extended Megabase. If you haven't already, haven't checked it out, then check out the base tour. And I'll also make another video of it, which will sort of entail the transitions from a starter base to a mega base, using this as an example, just loading different saves. One of the things that I think I could have done better with this series was maybe do sort of weekly recaps, so it was easier for people who missed maybe a week of vacation or something to get back into it. Or if you're completely unable to watch it, then you can still follow it by having weekly recaps. I'm not going to do daily recaps, that was just overwhelming, but weekly recaps should be doable. Now we have started our train world. I think it's a very interesting one. Episodes are flying away, and that's kind of one of the things that I'm kind of worried about. But it just kind of we're already at episode 23, and I know that once we hit episode 50, people just generally stop watching series, and that's I really want to build it into a big exhaustive mega base, and I hope I can do it before I'm sitting here alone. So I think it's an amazing series. It's quirky and weird and interesting in some ways. Now, the next line you're probably wondering about, Beltalowda. That's of course a shout out to, god damn it. There you go, sorry, dinner's ready. The new Twitch series that's starting up on Sunday, the 5th of January, is going to be called Beltalowda. That is a shout out to The Expanse, the sci-fi series, and it means people of the belt. It's going to be a heavily belt-based base. Yes, probably no trains. We've done enough trains, and just to make it completely separate from what we do on YouTube, then it's going to be trains, and it'll be very interesting. It'll have a usual engagement with the virtual crew APIs, so that donations in bits and dollars and subscriptions on Twitch have a direct impact in the base. I am not going to tell any more, but I encourage you to check out on Sunday starting at 8 p.m. Central European time. If you're missing it, I'm going to do a recap of the first episode afterwards and throw this on YouTube so that you don't feel miss out. And that's going to be streaming maybe 3-4 times a week for the foreseeable future. Now, so that's what happens on Factorio. Some people have mentioned from time to time that would I be interested in doing a base review of their bases, or a help fix my base. I would love to do that on one condition. I'm allowed to be cruel, because I'll say that this sucks, I'll say that this but I'll also help in saying I would do this different, I'm going to do this how. So if you have a base that you would like me to review or tear apart or something like that, please share it in Discord and tell me what's sort of the background. Are you a 100-hour noob and wants advice, or are you a veteran with thousands of hours that want to showcase your awesome build? Either way, I will review it based on that feedback. So that's what's happening on the Factorio front. Other content, and this is, I think, one of the more important things. When we look at 2020 and what I want to focus on, I want to go way more heavily into other games. I know and love Factorio, and there is a release coming on the 20-something of September, let's just say September. But I need to also play other games, and I want to play other games. And I have completely fallen in love with a couple of games that I've played lately, and they were not the ones that I thought I was falling in love with. I was thinking I would fall in love with Phoenix Point, and I did not. Well, I loved some parts of it and hated other parts. So I've put it on hold because the mechanics it's just not play tested. It's as simple as that. So once they start doing some balancing and play testing of the game and maybe add some DLCs or whatever, then I'm gonna come back to it. It needs something. It's not ready for release, in my humble opinion. And when it is, then it's going to be an absolutely fantastic game. But it isn't yet. So I'm going to put it on hold so I don't get more frustration out of it. But Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, third-person action game, I've completely blown away by the awesomeness. I've been hooking up a controller. The story is fantastic, and the same with The Witcher, Wild Hunt, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. I am just enjoying the hell out of those games. So I'm gonna go more into those. Some very heavy story-driven games, controller-based, more action game. So it's not like, hey, but that's not Factorio. I know, but they're awesome. And I hope you want to join me on that journey. And that's why I want to keep an eye out for new games coming out so I can jump in instead of coming into Witcher 3 4 hours late or 4 years late. Of course, there's Cyberpunk 2077 coming out in April, and I am going to just be all over that game for sure. So this is again my call to action. Help me find the new games, and by looking at these games, Star Wars Jedi, The Witcher 3, also giving an idea about other games. And please don't suggest Assassin's Creed or other old games that would still fit the genre, because I'm not going to go back to those. They may be awesome, but it's I'm not going to go this far back. I'm going to look forward on new and exciting games, so it's not like everyone else has the knowledge except me. Now, to round it off, I want to extend a very big thanks to all of my Patreon supporters. December has been a great month in terms of this of patronage pledge. I can only hope that it continues in January. The reason why I want to highlight patronage on Patreon is because it is the stuff that makes the biggest difference for me. There is a very low cut compared to YouTube and Twitch, and on the other hand, at the same time, it is something that is more of a long-term commitment. It seems people stick around on Patreon, and it is what I can look at more firmly as saying this is what I can expect to get as my living expenses, to cover my expenses on a monthly basis. Yeah, this doesn't really do anything, this look and feel. Yeah, so it is of course not mandatory or anything like that, and I appreciate every single pledge and all that. But it's just, I want to say it because it makes a world of difference for me. So thank you very much to all my patrons, also of course to people donating and subscribing on Twitch. It means the world to me. So thank you everyone, and I hope we can have a fantastic year of 2020 together again, like we had in 2019. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you guys either here on YouTube or over on Twitch or on Discord. Until then, stay effective.